I'm so sorry about the delay, but there was a proper delay. If anyone is watching this, if you're looking at my YouTube channel, we had a previous episode that we're going to do reactions in a squeaky voice as a gimmick, as we tried to do. There was a
you don't know, creative mode is one of the main ways to play Minecraft. It basically takes all of the survival parts of the game and removes them. Allowing players to create anything that they can come up with. Sounds a little bit similar to how Steve described. So the others could take so much damage and not be that worse for wear. And that's not even the only thing in this movie that points towards this fact. Like, this is admittedly a pretty small detail, but did you notice how none of the characters talk about hunger or eating at all in the movie? Sure, Garrett takes one bite of the lava chicken before wussing out, but otherwise, it's not brought up at all. Hunger.
I mean, the timeline of the entire event was over only a day. Maybe they could be dehydrated, but after only a single day, the only argument is Steve, as he's been in the foreign nether for longer than a day, so it doesn't make sense. But
and the hunger meter are huge parts of Minecraft in survival mode. If your hunger goes all the way down, you start losing health and will eventually die. Steve clearly knows his way around Minecraft and the rules of the overworld, and isn't shy about explaining literally everything. So you think it would another much bigger thing pointing towards creative mode? Well, in creative mode, you basically have unlimited building blocks. In regular Minecraft, if you break a block like wood, you will pick up only one blocks that you can then place down. Sure, you can use a crafting table to turn it into more blocks of a slightly different type, but if you want to just place down exactly the thing that you picked up, the one block is all you get. But in creative mode, if you have that one block, as long as it's in your inventory and on your toolbar, you can basically use it an infinite amount of times. This lines up perfectly with what we see in the movie, specifically in the scene where Henry and the others have first entered the overworld and night has fallen. If you don't remember, while the group is running away from attacking zombies and skeletons, Henry accidentally runs into a tree and breaks a couple of blocks. He then grabs those blocks and proceeds to build a fairly large shelter for the group to run away from the attacking undead. Now, your first thought here might be that he mines some more trees off screen, but given the size of the shelter that we see, my man basically would have had to clear a substantial part of the forest around them to make that happen, which we see is not the case. Instead, it really seems like he just grabbed a couple of blocks and then went ham, using them over and over again, almost like he was in creative mode. And if this is the case, these characters were never in any real danger at all. Sure, they get tossed around and hit and are put into...
Good point. Or maybe some pain. It's quite literally like
life-threatening situations. But no matter what, they would have been fine. That's why they never died despite taking so much damage. Why we never see them get hungry, why they can seemingly build giant structures from just a few blocks. And honestly, they really should have tried double jumping. Would have made the movie way easier if they knew they
gonna fly. I forgot about that. They gonna fly. They gonna went high in the sky.
Jack Black's Lost Adventure. Okay, so hear me out, but there's something
quite literally went into the sky.
Think about the story Steve tells here in a Minecraft movie that just doesn't line up. Maybe, sure, it could be a mistake by the filmmakers, but to be honest, they did put a lot of thought into this film. Could be a mistake. Tells here in a Minecraft movie that just doesn't line up. Maybe out, but there's something about the story Minecraft movie that just doesn't line up. Maybe, sure, it could be a mistake by the filmmakers, but to be honest, they did put a lot of thought into this film and how it used Minecraft's items and iconography. I'm not so sure it is a mistake, and instead, I think it's teasing a future spin-off story. But what is it? Well, during the film's opening monologue introducing Steve and the overworld and all that jazz, we see Steve supposedly going to the Nether for the very first time. It's here where he's captured by Malgosia and the Piglins, who want the Orb of Dominance so they can take over the overworld. Thankfully, Steve manages to pass the orb off to his wolf companion Dennis, who brings it through the overworld and back into the for safekeeping. Steve is then sadly left behind as a prisoner of the Piglins, where he stays until the other main characters enter the overworld and the rest of the plot happens. All in all, this is a fine setup for a movie. But here's the thing. This sequence, or at least part of Steve's backstory here in the monologue, it's either a lie of omission or just a straight up lie. A bit later in the movie, we see Malgosha the overworld and attack the village where Steve and the others are staying. During the sequence, the group splits up, with Steve, Henry, and the garbage man being chased up the mountains. To escape, Steve reveals that he has 2 elytra wings.
If you don't know, I was thinking about that too. I was wondering, he was able to kill the Ender Dragon twice? Because you had to get a Elytra wingsuit from the Ender Dragon, or one of the most powerful mobs of the game.
And the 3 fly away in one of the more creative action sequences in the movie. So, what's the issue? Well, hardcore Minecraft players probably already put this together, but for everyone else, given Steve's story in the end, there is no way he should have these Elytra wingsuits. See, in vanilla Minecraft, the Elytra are only found in one place, the End, in the treasure rooms of the crashed End ships. So, that means that for Steve to have these Elytra wings, he has to have been to the End already. This, in and of itself, actually has some pretty cool implications. Many players view to the End and defeating the dragon there as the goal of Minecraft, the end of it, so to speak. Each of the human characters in the film represent a different type of Minecraft player, with Steve very clearly